This guy, Kenny.
Working hard, dude.
Kenny Kaminsky.
Working hard.
Michael Cupp. Besides my lovely wife, Brooke, these two guys I spend a majority of my time with. And that's because a crushing majority of my time I'm in this office, at this desk, editing videos or writing copy or launching ads or testing new marketing campaigns. And even though a lot of people on pretty much every single ad that we're running think that I'm Logic, the rapper, the only thing I share in common with Logic is this.
Yeah, I don't fuck with nobody, like at all, nobody. It's very simple. I stay at my house and it's just me, my homies, my fiance, my little puppy I just got, and I don't fuck with nobody. I don't go anywhere. I don't go to parties. I barely go outside. Like literally, I really don't go outside that much just because I don't fuck with nobody.
You might think as an entrepreneur that this is career suicide. Shouldn't I be out there meeting people, mixing it up, finding opportunities? No! And in this video, I'm gonna share with you why I don't network at all. Let's get into it.
I know that seems a little weird, but I refuse to allow any sort of cancer in my life to spread.
Dude, I so with that.
We have built Entrepreneur without a lot of handouts or handshakes from important people in the industry. I've never intentionally set out to meet certain people or get mentioned in certain blogs or videos or what have you. And all that despite being in an industry that is primarily built on relationships and handshakes and who you know. Which goes to show you that no matter how predominantly your industry or your creative field focuses on knowing people, hard work can still replace the out of meeting people. You imagine a future state that you'd like your life to resemble. That's your goal, that's your ideal, that's what you're headed towards. It's your hierarchical value structure. For instance, at the beginning of this year, I set out to get my first 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Now you might think of progress towards that goal as the output, right? I might use tons of different inputs to affect the progress towards that goal, which is the output. So in this case, the progress towards that goal is number of subscribers, but it's also watch time. It's also views on videos. It's also the number of videos I'm putting out per week. Unless I give up entirely, I can't fail at that goal. But let's say that I wanted to get 100,000 by 2021. If I don't end up at 100,000 or greater subscriber count by 2021, that goal will have failed. And depending on what inputs I use to produce the output or what strategies I use to grow subscribers, grow watch time, grow views, I will be more or less successful at that goal. So my failure will be entirely predicated upon which strategies I choose to employ to get towards that ambition. And my hypothesis here is that there's very little that others can do for you that can't otherwise be achieved through sheer tyranny of will and consistency. So let's look at networking as an input towards your life's ambitions. Going out there, meeting people. Ugh. Now, what are the pros of networking as an input? Well, for one, networking has the potential for being faster. If I were to meet Peter McKinnon, who has almost 4 million subscribers now, and he decided to feature me on his channel and talk about my channel, that's going to result in a lot faster progress towards my 100,000 subscribers goal than otherwise would have happened. And that's why everyone's kind of after it, I think, is because it's a shortcut and people like shortcuts. Because people are very bad at delaying gratification. There's that old adage of good things come to those who wait. That's true. And that'll become incredibly apparent when we look at the cons of networking, which there are many and nobody is talking about them. Now, when you network, you invite trouble into your life. Every relationship and interdependency in your life carries a certain amount of risk to it, which is why over time, as I've grown into an adult, my relationships have narrowed considerably. Because as you become an adult, you become responsible for yourself for the first time and for others for the first time. And when you're responsible for yourself and others, you pay a lot of attention to how you risk the livelihood and the experience of yourself and others. Great undertakings, taking a massive goal and saying that that's what you're going to do, that carries an amount of risk to it as well. But the risk of great undertakings, the risk of deciding I'm going to work day and night until I achieve a goal, is personally accountable failure. Both the input and the output of that schema are factors that are under my feasible domain of control. I can both control how hard I work and I can control how hardly I take failure. But I can't be responsible for the whims and many inadequacies of random people that I meet, even close relatives. I can't be responsible for them. But if I've hitched myself to their trailer, I'm coming along for the ride regardless of what they decide. And if you're a person with a lot of moral content, if you want to do things in a certain way, you'll find that the more people you add to your network, the less control you have over how you do things. You're co-mitigating your risk of failure by hitching it to someone else's risk of failure whose inputs you don't control. I can abide personal failure. I can deal with me not having worked hard enough because I know that I can dust myself off, go back out there, and work exactly that hard. I can't abide suffering at the hand of someone else's failure that could have otherwise been avoided. I can also suffer my own inadequacy just fine because trying really hard, even if you don't succeed, has its own merit and its own personal feeling of accomplishment. I can take my hard work and failure and I can go get a job with it. That's experience. There's no medals they give out for having tried to shake hands with someone important and failing. You can't get a job with the fact that you tried to meet Peter McKinnon and he blew you off. In my opinion, hard work is a controlled exposure to chaos. You are the arbiter of your own outputs and inputs. You can control how much chaos and how much randomness and arbitrary nature you're exposing yourself to. Now, conversely, when you add in conscious and personally and arbitrarily motivated third parties through networking, through seeking partnerships with other people, you lose control of your exposure to chaos. They control it now. You're along for the ride. And if you're currently safe and comfortable and working iteratively on getting better every day, losing your control to how exposed you are to chaos is unbelievably dangerous. It is unsafe on a level that is hard for you to comprehend because you're not in it right now. Now, I'm not saying you should be a recluse. I'm not saying that you should be a hermit. I'm not even saying to limit your exposure to other people. I'm saying you should control the rate at which you foist the weight of your ambitions onto the indeterminate behavior of others. Furthermore, networking atrophies your faculties of diligence and conscientiousness. Your ability to work hard isn't being exercised when you're going to an industry mixer or what have you. Attending networking events isn't sitting down at a desk and shipping new content and campaigns and things that actually help you. But the obverse is true, and this is really important to note. Your relational equity, when you go out to network, the thing that makes you valuable is almost never how well you seek opportunities and the accomplishments of others. It's how hard you work. If you work hard, you're a hot commodity in a networking scenario. It is your capacity for output, your ability to produce, that determines your attractiveness in the eyes of others, especially others who have already done the hard work, who have already accomplished a lot. They respect hard work the most. People email me all the time wanting to know me. People who are pretty powerful, who have a lot of clout in the industry. And the reason they want to know me is my capacity to produce, not my capacity to compliment people on their outfit and buy them a drink. So if you work on working hard, you'll be able to network with anyone you want to. And if you work on networking, I don't know what's gonna happen to you because it's a crapshoot. They might have sketchy morals. They might end up ripping someone off. They might end up saying something unsightly. And now you're their buddy. You're their best bud. While others were locked away at their desk, working, putting stuff together, you were meeting that guy or that girl. Which is why, like the rapper Logic, I don't fuck with nobody. I stay here, head down, working until I reach my goal. A couple of months before I started Entrepreneur, I tried my best to reach out to the CD Baby staff, including people I now know, Kevin Bruner and Chris Robley. I called the CD Baby offices pretending to be a student, trying to get my foot in the door, trying to talk to them because I knew that I could provide something valuable to their stack, but I didn't get through. And I'm glad I didn't because after that, I just put in 2 years of hard ass work. Next month, August, I will be kicking off CD Baby's DIY Musician Conference with Indepreneur co-founder Corinne Campbell, leading a 3-hour intensive training on digital marketing for independent musicians. It is top billing for that conference, and if it wasn't for the 2 years of hard-ass work that preceded it, I would have never got there. So I'm glad that I didn't get through to the CD Baby offices. I'm glad that I didn't convince Kevin Bruner's assistant to let me through, because that wouldn't have gotten me on that CD Baby stage. Only hard-ass work would have gotten me there. Now, if Peter McKinnon wants to recognize all the hard work and throw me a bone, awesome. But even if he doesn't, I'll get there because I can control my progress towards that eventuality. Because I'm not trying to meet Peter McKinnon. I'm trying to get some work done. And so should you. With that said, I've been Circa for Full Stack Creative. This has been a bit of a rant, but I thought it was necessary because I see a lot of overimportance placed on networking out there. If you liked this video, if it was helpful to you, please like the video and subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. Just so you know, we drop videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're usually a tutorial on creative business or creativity and creative tools, or a rant like this one. And if you do, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.